I'm warning you. This job is important. I want it done properly. You made a complete mess of it last time, so don't screw up again, that's all. I've got a lot of work to be done, and I've got no damn time to waste.
Would you call this the right way to motivate anybody to do a better job? What about this?
It's obvious that you're having problems doing these jobs. Now, if you don't put things right, we're going to lose a lot of time and money. So is there anything we can do to improve things in the time scale we've got?
No great change in the facts, but a different approach, taking into account that the other person is not only there to do a job, but is human too, and can have an input. Which approach is more likely to motivate the individual?
Found the corrections over here, then you have to go back.
In this program, we're going to look at managing individuals, a crucial part of everyone's job on board.
Changed last time, so it shouldn't be too bad. All right? Well, it may not be, depends on the condition of the unit.
Shipping is a dynamic business, constantly becoming more sophisticated technically. But the new technology needs to mesh with good management based on the long-established rank structure. The more complex ships become, the more is required from every individual on board. With smaller crews, that means getting the best from each person by managing them and motivating them. What is it that makes some people work hard and contentedly in jobs that do not greatly appeal to others? Motivating people is a complex subject, and there are too many theories to explore them all in the scope of this program. You'll find some outlined in the study guide, but so far, no foolproof rules have been formulated. You don't have to be born with leadership and management skills. They can be learned. So what do you think are the main motivators? Money is a powerful motivator. It's a reliable reward for harder work and extra time. But it always has to stop somewhere, especially when you're managing a budget. But money really is not the only thing that motivates people to work better and harder. It isn't the only reward that people respond to. As well as the basic external needs, such as financial reward, reasonable working conditions, reasonable comfort and safety, we all have social and psychological needs that motivate us.
You have your loading plan ready, yeah?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, sure.
That's your sailing condition,
Yes,
yeah?
sailing condition.
It can be the reward of simply knowing they've done a good job and it's been recognized.
62, okay, that's fine.
Or they can be motivated by knowing that they've been challenged by a task and have provided an answer.
Thanks for your efforts. We managed to get out the anchor in there much sooner. That's okay, Chief. Thanks very much.
Or that you see them as people with their own lives.
How's life and kids? Yeah, fine, sir. Okay, good job. Good job, sir.
Excuse me, Tony. Just wanted to thank you for dinner tonight. It's beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you also.
Good managers learn how to motivate individuals by recognizing good effort and responding when goals have been reached. Everybody is encouraged by being thanked and supported.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, have a break. Huh? I will get it done with more. Thank you.
Remy, if you could take out the port inboard oxy-economizer circuit pump element.
All human societies have a hierarchical organization. Ships have their own rank and seniority structure.
The other day, which you made an excellent job of, because I know it's very, very difficult to get those seals in correctly. Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
John, can you give me a hand, please? What way you do is when you tighten up all these lashings, I've noticed some before that are...
This command system generally works very well, and advancement up it is an important motivator for many seafarers.
And all the lashing bars are all nice and tight. Okay, thank you.
Motivated people behave more professionally too, and that will have a direct effect on the ship's efficiency and its budget. The senior managers on board must remember that what they do and the way they do it has a big influence on their subordinates.
Water level number 2. Low to water.
If you take pride in your work and act like an ambassador for your ship, You help to promote the enthusiasm and commitment that you want from others.
Notice of readiness.
You need to be positive rather than negative.
These are the terminal regulation?
Yes.
Okay, we will, and then we will discuss more with the chief officer. And,
I would like you to go through this
Okay.
and then sign for this over here, for the terminal.
Okay.
An unhappy, poorly motivated crew will quickly pull down standards on a ship.
Any hazardous?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there are hazardous containers going below in 46 and going below on 34.
Okay, and do you have the paperwork for those?
Okay, once you will get the notice to mariner, you have to find out this chart is affected or not.
A good way both to motivate people and to increase efficiency is to delegate.
Then you will go back and check the tracings.
Sometimes there is a reluctance to delegate,
Chart is this number.
but delegation promotes two-way trust and helps to develop other people's abilities.
Check your latitude, right, which is written here, and the longitude over here. You carry on. I will see you later.
Okay.
All right?
Leadership qualities have to be learned, and this is one good way of encouraging initiative. Managers need to share out the work fairly, and delegation must not be used to get out of jobs that you don't like. Leave the junior to get on with the job. Make it clear that you're on call to help and guide if required. Tell the junior when you will return to see how things are going.
How's it going, Rajesh?
You're fine.
All right.
No problem.
Let's see what you have done.
All right.
Let's see. You enter the last correction, check the corrections. Enter-
Delegation brings two-way benefits as well, because it increases your own efficiency and productivity. Helps you to assess other people's abilities too.
Yeah, they are matching. All of them. You're doing good job, man. You're quite impressed. You have any question, ask me.
No, I'm comfortable.
Right? You comfortable?
We have so many jobs to be done on the ship, and one man can't do everything. So we have to delegate jobs to the juniors, so that in one way it helps the man who is delegating it to put his interest somewhere else, and secondly also it also gives the juniors a sense of responsibility, increases their efficiency, and make them feel that they are a member of a team.
I can't be at different places at one time. So I delegate responsibility and jobs to my juniors. And when I delegate it, I expect them to do the job. I know it gives them a feeling of responsibility. It gives them a feeling that, okay, the chief officer has entrusted me with this job, I must do it. And I must do it to the best of my ability and to his satisfaction, and get the job done right. To me, delegation is very important, although I've got to go back and verify everything that is done. I delegate certain jobs, I've got to go and verify them. And that's very important. And I think delegation and verification go hand in hand.
Managing by wandering around is a planned but informal way of keeping a finger on the ship's pulse and getting feedback on progress and training needs.
These trace steam leaks are getting quite bad now. I think we'll have to look at them in Singapore. Yep, okay.
It's good for motivation because people work better when they're given attention. Praise for good work can be given at the right time.
Okay, and then you use the wire brush. Okay, so what's got to be done is a good job, because we don't want to come again and again and again to these same spots.
What's for lunch, Tony?
Oxtail, sir.
Oxtail. Very nice.
Managing by wandering around is also a method of anticipating potential problems, while there's still time to prevent a crisis. Earlier programs have stressed the importance of planning for effective and safe operation of the ship, and that plans need to be monitored and need to be flexible.
Okay, Tony, that looks very good.
So is this you doing the stores, Tony?
Yeah, Chief. I order everything in Singapore.
Oh, Singapore then. So do we have plenty of stuff on board? What about all brand?
That's okay, Chief.
A good way of checking whether plans are working or if changes are required is to allot time for supervision and monitoring of things that really matter.
Here we go, biscuits. Did we go through many biscuits?
Let the Chief.
Oh, sweet tooth on here.
Remember that ratings are also part of the team and must be motivated. With proper supervision, they can be given some responsibilities. Like junior officers, they may be the managers of the future.
Once we get this, the grinding done, I think it should be bare metal. All right? Yeah, he's preparing the circuit.
Every officer in a supervisory position should be able to describe the qualities of personnel who report to them. Under the STCW convention, they will now have to make assessments of job performance. These assessments, appraisals and performance reviews can indicate promotion potential and point up training requirements. Different companies will have different systems and different forms.
Yeah, the new year is here again.
Formal assessment systems are common ashore. All staff are appraised by their bosses.
I'm rather thankful to you for all you've done in '96, and hopefully
It's a good idea to prepare thoroughly for an assessment. The first step is to set out an agenda, decide the purpose of the discussion and the order in which issues will be discussed.
Though I must say it's a great improvement of 1995. Do you have any comments?
As we previously discussed,
At the outset, make it clear that it's a two-way discussion and the person being assessed should be encouraged to ask questions.
Aside from that, I think we've covered most of the items. Do you agree with all of these?
Good managers should use assessment as a positive tool for understanding what makes members of their teams tick.
Before we take a look at the detail, I just wanted to run through some of my general impressions. Now, the first thing that stands out is your technical competence.
Interviews and appraisals should be approached as a positive aid to personal development.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty comfortable with the task I'm assigned. I wouldn't mind being given more difficult things to do.
Well, I think I know why that might be. Why you're not getting the kind of jobs that you could do. Do you have any ideas on that?
Not really, sir. I mean, I've spoken to the second and mentioned how capable I am of doing more demanding jobs, but so far he doesn't seem to have taken much notice, sir.
Yes, but I think the explanation of this may lie partly with you. As I've put in your report, and as others have said to me, it sometimes seems that you don't listen when you're given instructions.
It's a chance to measure competence and performance, so it will help in planning and meeting targets.
I'm not sure that's justified, sir.
It's not something to get upset about. It's the only area in which you have lower than average scores. But then you could try to do something about it. Show people you're taking in instructions.
I suppose I could, sir. I mean, sometimes I feel I'm being treated as if I'm stupid, and that really bothers me.
Perhaps it's as simple as that.
They can also help to get over cultural barriers and understand another's point of view. And don't forget, it's a good way of increasing your own skills at managing people.
Personnel appraisals are used within our organization extensively, both at sea and ashore. They are used to highlight areas in which the individual, or perhaps a series of individuals, have a lack of skill or knowledge, in order that we can develop training courses for that individual or for the personnel in general, in order that we can raise their level of skills and efficiency. It is extremely important in our view that the individual who is being assessed also has an input into that assessment.
An appraisal cannot be a one-off thing standing alone somewhere in a corner. An appraisal is the opportunity for two people working in a company to get together, to exchange their ideas, to discuss improvements. I personally don't like to talk so much about shortcomings all the time. What we want to do, we want to motivate people, we want to improve people's capabilities, we want to improve their understanding of the company.
The appraisals are a very good way for the company to actually find out which people are the best for promotion through the ranks. It is an opportunity for the ship staff to report on the junior officers and the crew back to the office what these people are really like. And shore management should really take them, study them carefully, wait to have more than one report, obviously, on each individual, and hopefully over a period of time you can actually make the best choice and promote the best people. It's all about promoting the best.
Well, I think that covers most of the immediate issues. You know, I'm personally very pleased with the way everything's going.
Well, we both know that food is very important.
All senior officers must recognize the value of proper assessment and performance analysis, both as a record of someone's abilities at present and also as a guide for the individual and the company for setting goals and developing a career.
Control. You said when you joined that you never had experience with computerized stock controlling before. How are you getting along? Been having a go?
Well, the trouble is I'm not very computer-minded. I get a bit confused.
The aim is an overall evaluation. In this way, the company is helped in putting good crews together, recognizing candidates for promotion, and obtaining feedback on the effectiveness of training.
Ships will have it. The second mate was just the same, but I think he's getting on well with it now. Look, I'll ask him to run through it with you, and you can let me know how you get along. Have you had a look through the ship's technical literature? I'm seriously concerned about this matter. You must know that your prime consideration must always be the safety of the ship and the ship's company. Now, apart from knowing that as a seafarer,
the master of a ship has the responsibility to apply management skills as counselor and director of all personnel on board.
Now, the report from your last voyage showed a very similar occurrence. Now, we talked about it when you joined this ship, and I gave you the benefit of the doubt. Look, I don't want to assume that this poor standard is a pattern. So please, change my mind for me.
You have to know, not assume, that any officer or rating can be relied upon to get tasks right first time.
Are not the same. The one on my last ship was my fault, I admit that. I think I explained why it happened when I joined.
All right, I accept that. Let's leave that behind us and talk about what happened last night. The chief engineer was quite rightly concerned that when the alarm went off in the engine room and the duty officer had failed to respond, the bridge also failed to respond.
Well, sir, when I heard the alarm, I assumed one of the engineers would take care of it.
The alarm sounds on the bridge for a reason.
When mistakes are made, they must be acknowledged and the problem addressed by constructive discussion. It is better, for example, to stress the reason for a rule rather than the fact that it has been broken.
Later and told me it was a bilge water alarm.
Yes, that's right. But a bilge alarm can lead to serious problems if no one responds and no one does anything about it. Now, do you agree?
Yes, sir, I'm sorry, sir.
But do you see why I am really concerned about this? If you simply switch off all the alarms and assume that someone else is going to take care of the problem, we'll all be in trouble.
Yes, I understand that, sir.
A great deal of scheduling and routine maintenance planning is now carried out on computerized systems. The new systems are to help the organization and analysis of routine functions. They're not an end in themselves.
Keep a good eye out for any leaks.
Even the most highly sophisticated ships need officers who are capable of motivating people and being responsible for the social welfare of the crew.
What about this machine? How do you find it? Quite easy?
That's it, Chief.
Like professional managers in any other industry, they must accept change and prepare for contingencies.
It's not something to get upset about.
Under STCW, they will have to formally assess those working under them.
Do you think you could try to do something about it?
How are you getting along?
In this part of the course, we have covered some of the important issues in motivating those around you.
Confused.
Thanks for your efforts. We managed to get out the engine room that much sooner. That's okay, Chief.
Always bear in mind what your target is. Then think of the best ways to keep others aimed in the same direction.
Alright, buddy. Good job.
Labels and tins change. There are several...
Involve and inform them, rather than leaving them to just plod on.
It says you carry on. I will see you later.
Okay.
All right?
Remember, it's not you alone who has to get the job done. You'll find more detailed guidance on these matters when you read the study guide that comes with this course.